On this episode,
we are driving with the S15. We're out here again today at Gunsai, the famous street-style track where you can do Touge drift legally. But we're not just watching here today, we're not just taking drone videos, we are driving with the S15. So the S15 finally ready-ish. Look, it's as ready as it's gonna get. What better place to do the first test of a car you've never driven before than a really tight, windy Touge-style track with no escape zone? Because that's what we do here. Not a whole lot has changed on it, but I'll show you what's sort of been done to get it ready to drive. The SR20 is still pretty similar to how it was before, but I took it to the mechanic and just got it made safer to drive. It still has the same Taming turbo as when I bought it, and I was considering changing it to just a standard S15 turbo, but instead of that, I took it to my mechanic. We hooked up the boost controller and set it to a level that was safe. And other things for making the car safer, replaced the intake with a solid metal one, and this used to have a silicon connector here, which is very close to the very hot exhaust manifold, so you just welded it straight on, put a new air filter on, made a little bracket for it so it sits right. And just other safety things like brand new plugs, brand new coils, which is expensive, but it goes good. It doesn't make much power, and it's got almost no bottom end, but it runs. It's good enough. I am a little bit worried about it though. I took off the expensive bumper. When I got here, people said, "Is that real? Are you gonna drift with that? You better take that off." So I did, and I chucked it in a bush just to be safe. The tires are kind of old. Here come the excuses, by the way. Also, look at this. Still has a standard seat, which is not ideal. I'm gonna be bracing my knees everywhere here today. Other things are, the suspension is stiff as hell. This is the suspension, look. It's rock hard. I don't like it, but it's all we got. We'll switch to new coilovers soon. It still has all the rust and the terrible brake lights. Let me show you something else as well. You might notice it has nice clear headlights now. These are not the replacement lenses that I showed you in a previous video. I just bought replica replacements because it was easier to just buy them and put them on there. We're gonna take it out for the first time here today and give it a drive. And we're on probably the most dangerous track there is to drive an unknown car. We've also got Lono FPV out here again, and he wants to try pushing his drone chase shots to the next level. Hang on, this is our first time driving this car on video, isn't it? As an Australian, there's something I need to do. Skids for the boys. That was a little bit weak, but I don't want to break it just yet. Alright, now they said to turn your headlights on to high beam. I'm just going to let these guys go past. It's white S15 day. Okay, well, I'm just gonna let them go. Now the course starts here, so initial impressions about this track. The sketchiness level is about a 10 out of 10. As you can see, there's ditches and trees and not much else. The road surface is very inconsistent. Some parts are slippery, some parts are not slippery. The brightness and shade doesn't make it much easier to see. I think even the GoPro is probably having a hard time keeping up with the bright and the dark parts of the track. But this is so close to being an actual mountain road, it's not funny. Like, this road looks identical to the roads just outside. All right, another one. First gear. And over the finish line. サスペンション硬いね。お願いします。
お借りします。安全運転で。
安全運転で。
結構リアルかかないんだね。おー、いいね、いいね、いいね、いいね。もうちょい柔らかいと、はい、サスペンションがソフトだとコントロールしやすい。ああ、いや、全く信じてない今ね。うん、止めてください。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。I gotta cool down for a second. That course is nuts. I don't know how they let us keep doing it. There's a track day at Nikko Circuit, I think this week on like Wednesday. I should have gone to that. Would have been a lot less stressed. So in the last video, we came here with Lono FPV and did some test drone footage because I kind of wanted to see what it'd be like to fly in a place like this. And we got some good shots, but we were only sort of standing in one spot. There was only a few corners because, you know, as you can see, it's a fairly heavily wooded area around here, so the signal doesn't go too far. This time we're kind of knocking it up a notch and getting him to ride passenger in a car while we're chasing another car. Okay? This is the drone we're using. This is a quad rotor FPV.
has a really big battery on it, and to record, it has this GoPro, which records in like almost square 4K. It's a little 3D printed. It's actually a backpack that has the antenna and stuff in it. They have pretty beefy connectors for the amount of power they're running. And this is the camera that the operator sees through. So as you can see, it's kind of angled forward. So they fly like this, at kind of a forward angle. And that camera here broadcasts in real time to a set of these. These are the goggles that they use. Right, so this shows that view. It's some sort of real cyberpunk looking stuff. It's pretty cool. And this is the remote. And what I've noticed too, when he flies it, he's using like that much stick input, like almost nothing.
So he's going to be in the passenger seat with me, goggles on and a helmet, moving around and trying to fly a drone at the same time. This is the guy who was driving the 180SX before. Deora? Hello. We're gonna do one more run. This time though, we're gonna use a slightly different camera. We're gonna use a 360 camera. It might be better, might be not, but, and like I said before, unfortunately because Lono is sitting in the car and having to fly the drone and stuff like that, I have to ask him to drive slowly. So we can't really drive at full speed. We tried before, we did a test run and Lono said to me, what speed do you reckon they're going like compared to how we're driving now? And I said, oh, maybe a third faster. They were going at least 250% faster. So that was a bit of a flop. So we waited until his tires were kind of gone so he can drive a bit slow. So it's hard to drive slow, but he's good. He's a former D1 driver as well. He was in D1 GP. Yeah. D1 got up in dead as well. He's really good. So, okay. 360 cam. We'll see what we can do. Hope it looks good. Okay, I'm gonna jump out. Okay. All right, you hang on.
Good to go whenever.
Yeah, no, you tell me when.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's all from me today at Gunsai. The car ran no problem. デールさんお疲れ様でした。ありがとうございました。最高でした。
また会いましょう。
お願いします。
今度は早く走りたい。
ね。So if you want to see more drifting and just car stuff like this, make sure you hit subscribe. And also if you'd like to see the content before everybody else and help push it forward, like these people here, these are my tier 3 Patreons over on Patreon. Wait, patrons on Patreon. Anyway, look, these are the tier 3 ones, team managers. They get the name at the end of the video too. If you'd like to see the videos before everyone else as well, and do things like, for example, when I paint the car finally, you guys are going to choose what color it's going to be on Patreon. So check that out. The link will be down below. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.